name's Jackie. I was running the retreat in Puerto Rico, and we had quite the adventure.
So I'm Holly, one of the owners at Surf with Amigas. We've been operating for about 6 years, and luckily we've had a ton of returning amigas. We've had girls come on like 4, 5, 6, even 7 retreats with us. And one thing that they like is experiencing new locations. So unlike other surf camps where you're just based at one place, we try to provide a bunch of locations so amigas can come back and have our experience but see someplace new. And Puerto Rico had kind of come up in discussion, and then I got an email from a woman named Renee who said she had a retreat center called Samatahiti in Puerto Rico. And it seemed like the perfect fit. She had sent me a long email describing her resort, listing such things as luxury bell tents, walking distance to 6 surf spots, a huge yoga deck, surf view coffee bar. She said that she was a yoga teacher and a surf instructor, and that she had hosted lots of retreats at her place. So I really trusted her that she knew what she was talking about. The reality turned out to be very different.
We knew the girls would be staying in tent cabins, and from the photos they looked really cute, but when we got to the resort and actually looked inside the tent cabins.
Me and Jackie looked at the tents last night. They looked good in the dark. We're gonna see what the Grom thinks of them.
First time.
All you could smell was mold.
Ugh. It's pretty hot in here.
They didn't look cute at all. They're super hot.
So this is the tent hangout, the hangout tent.
It's also used for sweat lodging and ceremonial purposes. So we'll be doing some pretty emotional stuff this week.
But you know, we tried to make the best of it, thinking that once the beds were made and they were all done up, they would be cuter. We were promised twin beds inside the tents, and they were just cots that were actually covered in plastic. And then one of the amigas decided to open up the plastic and felt that the cot itself was wet. There was mold on the sidewalls of the tent, just not killer. So
God, it's so hot in here.
When you show up to most resorts, you expect, or to any resort I should say, you expect there to be the basics: toilet paper, hand soap, hand towels, and that was just not the case here. No lights, so it was a little dark at night.
She promised 6 surf spots within a 7-minute walk. Emily and I walked it one day, and it took us no less than 20 minutes down a giant hill, so that was a lie. We ended up having to rent a big 15-passenger van that we ended up calling the Magic School Bus, which ended up being fun at the end of it all. It was a yoga space, but it was very small. She encouraged us to bring a group of 12, so we had 11 girls sign up, and the yoga deck fit 11, but only barely, with the yoga mats touching on all 4 corners. She told us that we would move a table into that yoga space as the dining area, but there was no table, no chairs. We ended up all just sitting on the floor. Normally when people describe their resorts in the tropics, a shaded eating space isn't something that you have to ask about. It's sort of a given.
Normally as a surf instructor, we are really focused on getting the amigas awesome waves and hanging out with them, and there's no cleaning staff, so we had to step it up there, do the dishes, sweep around. We had to make sure that the tables were in place because there actually were no tables, so we had to find them and then bring them there.
Another issue was that there was just nowhere to hang out. There's no shade anywhere on the property except for in the apartment that we rented for all of the instructors. Luckily we had that space for the amigas to hang out in. No shade on the yoga deck. And the girls didn't want to just hang out in the tents during the daytime because they got really hot.
This is the table in the hangout. If you want to come sweat, just sit here.
She said that there were hammocks scattered throughout the property. It turned out there was one hammock, and it was in such bad repair no one even wanted to sit in it.
On the first day, we went for a surf in the morning, and on our way home from the surf, I got a message from the chef that we had contracted for the whole week, saying that she couldn't do it. I think maybe she had a mental breakdown or something.
I can't do this. I can't. I've been running around since yesterday. I can't get everything that's fine, but I cannot make this happen.
And I tried calling her 1,000 times, and she went completely AWOL, wouldn't respond to calls, emails, nothing. She's actually still AWOL with all of her money, so that's kind of interesting. Luckily, I found a guy who had worked as a chef in restaurants and is also a raft guide, so he's used to cooking for like 30 people, and he ended up pulling it off.
When Jackie sent me a message with all of these things, it wasn't even a question. It was like, do whatever you need to do, put it on the credit card, make sure the amigas have an awesome time, and I totally trust. We have an awesome staff. I knew that they were going to get the job done.
Anyways, we decided to move locations eventually because of the tents being too feral.
The waves were awesome, and I know that a lot of the amigas got the waves of their lives. It was also interesting because there's a lot of other surf schools, and we got majorly complimented by them for our girls doing some awesome turtle rolls, and even just charging out there on the big days. They were saying that it was just so epic to see girls out there and not backing down to the big surf. So that was really rewarding.
We definitely went way over budget with having to pay for 2 chefs, 2 times the accommodation, putting a van rental into it all. But none of that really matters because we ended up having a great week. All the girls had a good time. Some of the girls got the best waves of their life. That's always our #1 goal, is to make sure the amigas have an awesome time.
Having traveled a ton myself, I know that it's the trips where things go wrong that end up being the most memorable. I mean, in the moment, it's like, oh my God, you know, the chef quit and the tent smelled like mold and we're gonna have to like spend all this money to rent vans and like drive people when we thought we were just gonna be able to walk. But I mean, that's what makes it an adventure.
In the end, Puerto Rico was a really good time.